EntraDuce by Amochli Inwikamina. Part 1. Introductions. Hi, my name is Amochli, meaning book in the native tongue of my ancestry. I come from vibrant people who were conquered by violence but reborn with resilience. Before Mexico was of the Spanish and their Spanish invaded my native language. I come from a bloodline derived of nurturers who cared for the land and practiced its nature. Raised with strong will, I no longer sit in silence. I introduce and invite you to enter the abyss of my thoughts, to explore and witness rape culture. Enter and navigate the beauties and the cruelties of the world that she lives in. Observe every action and reaction as you trek past her forest of insecurities to harvest the fruits of her labor. Caress the curves of her mountain tops and follow the pain-painted roads embedded deep within her landscape. Then leap from the mountain peak to know that her strength can still hold you. Trust that her winds beneath your wings will guide you to a slow descent. Reflect. Part 2. On the surface. Consciously and unconsciously, we are constantly under control. We, as in women, through education and exploitation of our feminine and nurturing ways. These expectations have been imposed on women, taught to women, believed by women, but not yet reclaimed. In the streets, we pursue her, but ignore her screams and use her physique to sell us things by idolizing the feminine and minimizing the fact that she didn't sign up for this. Her body so enchanting has taken a beating, deconstructed from human to object by her husband, her friends, and her nation, as we continue to sing along to violent anthems and continue to lead her to her own defamation. Encouraged by media, people, and politics, we're teaching hatred towards women. In other words, misogyny. Sexual assault typically, but not always, between a man and a woman has now divided counterparts, dividing our duality. Aggressors and bystanders perpetuate this violence in the streets, in the classroom, and to the bedroom, leaving no room for true love for you and me, without pain, without fear, without rape. I know. Harmony is what life should be, a balance between he and she, like the sun and the moon. We are a combination of two cells in the womb. We were sewn together and plotted in the same soil, grown in a warm summer breeze and nurtured kindly by violence. We were born to a servitude of gender attitudes. Our inner nurturer betrays our warrior's crave to rise up by a taught instinct to remain silent. We believe in the fragility of our wings, although we have been migrant for generations, crossing borders if not nations. Because of what happened to me, I see this marvelous world just a little bit differently, with a little more scrutiny, you see. A survey taken in 1993 has revealed that sexual harassment is rampant in schools K through 12. You see, the survey revealed a major flaw in the system. Geography teaches navigation, and social studies teaches deception. Mathematics teaches that 1 + 1 = 2, but when practiced in the real world, 2 drinks + 3 lies blurs lines so that 1 passes out and 1 doesn't pull out. A failed mathematic lesson couldn't teach him that his 2 hands on her 2 thighs give him no right to enter her body. Children in schools are subject to bullying and sexual aggressions while educators remain dismissive. This is the face of rape culture, teaching our children that touching, grabbing, and teasing is not a matter of concern. And if our children cry for help, chances are they won't be heard or believed, or that proper justice will be achieved. Dismissing these actions integrates rape culture into the curriculum, as if sexual assault was a classroom with no recess, grabbing thighs and breasts for no reasons except for an entitled sense of sexual freedom. But yet, we argue that sexual education is not needed. Part 3. Healing. From villages to great empires, we have worked the land and expanded our minds, creating all and anything we could envision. You see, there's a whole process to healing from this, and it's not easy and it's not always immediate. And I know that my past has long since ended, but when I see that remnants are still present, I cringe. First, there's denial of a victim, and instead of reaching out to help them, society rather looked the other way. And when she rationalizes what has changed her, we're eager to question why she didn't tell the truth. We fail to realize that she lost trust in us, and in that failure, she projects those hurt emotions because we couldn't aid her. In the presence of rape culture, we remain silent. A culture that justifies rape, fails to intervene, refuses to prosecute, and refuses to believe. We are eagerly forgetting the consequences of our creations, jokingly dismissing our misguided intentions, and always so gracefully forgetting to pay attention long enough to let these issues sink in. Slowly, we're turning our mistakes into culture, embedding in our children the mentality that we rather stay silent than feel uncomfortable. Understanding the issues we create takes time. Two wrongs don't make a right, but a left and a right show that there's more than one path to follow. It takes courage to follow a path not commonly traveled, and courage to reflect on what we ourselves have said and done. It takes patience to reach the conclusion that we are the only solution to ending sexual assault, and that begins in our home and in our hearts. It starts with accepting that her tears are our tears. It starts when we stop feeding our children lies that maybe, just maybe, she wouldn't have gotten raped if her dress hung far below her thighs. And the simple thought of having that conversation is scary because we worry we might be part of the problem. When we hear or see another human fall victim, know that we don't have to fall with them. Her pain is his pain, and in the twisted game we're playing, we have all the control, aware and responsible for every comment that's heard, for every stare down her shirt, for every damn sexualized commercial. End the silence to revive a loving culture. Anticipate the future and navigate the world through her eyes. Don't ignore the cries for help, because when there is silence, that will be the loudest memory heard.